One of the things that I most enjoy about the fall is college football. I went to the University of Texas and I watched a lot of Longhorn football. However, some years they're not any good, and so I started watching TCU football with a friend. Then another friend went to Alabama. I watched that. My daughter went to Ole Miss, so I started watching Ole Miss football. Um, I've got a lot of friends. They went to Tech or OU or Baylor or A&M, and it's fun to watch their games with them, even if I don't care anything about the game. It's fun socially. I enjoy that. We have always associated one of the things. Not every game is good. Not every Saturday is very interesting. But one way to make that a little better is to have an activity that you can enjoy while you're watching a game. Of course, eating is one. But in addition to that, we play gin rummy. Um, Not cards in general, but specifically gin rummy. And the reason is it's a great game. It's got a little bit of everything. It's complex enough to be challenging and requires some skill, but it's also something that you can look up and watch a play, a rerun from a play, and then get back and you kind of know where you are in the game. So it's the purpose of it all is social, but the gin rummy goes nicely with watching college football. So we're planning to have a round robin gin tournament this year in conjunction with our college football game day TV watching. And in order to do that, we have to kind of agree on some of the rules. Gin is played by 50 different rules, but and none are better than the other. But it's important that we agree on how we're going to do this, how we're going to score the game, so forth. And that's what this video is about: is simplifying the rules of gin so that we can play while we're watching football and have this tournament and everybody's playing the same game. Anyway, so I'm going to simplify the game of gin. You probably know it's a card game. It's played with regular playing cards, 52 cards. What you may not know is that those playing cards come in two sizes. These are poker cards, and they're pretty big because poker's played with 5 cards in your hand. It's pretty easy, maybe less. These are bridge cards, and they're a little bit smaller. Well, bridge cards are better for gin because in gin you're holding 10 cards in your hand, and if you're using poker cards, it would be kind of unwieldy. So there you go. You know all about that. Gin is for 2 players only. There are other rummy kind of games that maybe involve more people, but a regular gin rummy is a 2-person card game, and that's what we're going to talk about. One of the things that's kind of important is the dealer. A lot of times people, the dealer is the winner or the loser or whatever. I can tell you, it doesn't make any difference who deals. It's not an advantage, it's not a disadvantage. But I will tell you one thing that does matter with regard to dealing, and that's when a dealer is dealing. Like let's say I'm dealing here. Sometimes you're showing the other player the bottom card. Now let's say that it's a king of spades, or rather clubs, and the guy during the game, he's collecting either kings or clubs, but he knows that he's never going to get to that card because it's on the bottom. Well, that's an advantage for him because the dealer doesn't know that, because the dealer couldn't see that while he was dealing. So what I do when I get through dealing, is I just cut and bury the bottom card so that nobody knows what it is. Outside of that, it doesn't make any difference who deals. Now, whoever deals will shuffle the cards, and then he'll deal 10 cards to himself, 11 cards to the other guy. Then the 2 people have their cards, and they will organize their hand in whatever way makes sense to them. Maybe they make it low to high, high to low. Maybe they do it by suits. I don't have an opinion for that. You organize your hand or don't, any way that you like. But anyway, so the guy with 11 cards starts because he has 11 cards, and he discards. Well, what does he discard? He discards the card that he thinks does not make any sense to his hand, or it's the least valuable card. Now, he may not know that from the very beginning. Then in that case, he'll probably discard a high card, because later the cards count against you. And if you're going to dump some cards, it would be good to dump high cards rather than low. Speaking of that, the ace in gin is a 1. Sometimes people say, well, can we play it both ways? No, it's a 1. Ace equals 1. So obviously that's the lowest of the low cards. If you're left in the end with just one card in your hand, you hope it's an ace, not a 10. But anyway, so the guy with 11 discards whatever he wants. Now the guy with 10 can pick up the discard if he thinks that makes sense for his hand, or he can draw from the deck. He now has 11, and he looks at his hand, decides which to get rid of, so he discards, and it goes back and forth like that for a while. And what's happening during that time is the two players are building their hands. What they're trying to do is get a gin. Not every game ends with a gin, but they're trying to get a gin, which means they're trying to have 10 cards in their hand that match with each other. They either match, there's two ways that they match. One is of a kind, okay? Like here's 4 kings. These match because they're the same, of a kind. Now, a group only has to have 3. So you wouldn't have to have all 4 kings, but then this guy happens to have them all 4. The other kind of group that you can have is a straight flush. And again, with a minimum of 3 cards. This is diamonds from 2 to 7, so this is 6 cards. You might think of it as 2 different groups, but you can have, actually you could have 10 cards, all the same suit, and that could be your gin hand. But anyway, so the 2 guys are trying to arrange their hands, trying to pick cards strategically, discard strategically, and then in terms of drawing from the deck, they hope to be lucky. Now, this hand that goes back and forth for a while, sometimes it goes 5 moves and it's over. Sometimes it goes till the deck is out of cards. But in a game, there will be a lot of different hands. We're talking about a hand. The way the hand ends is one of 3 ways. Either somebody gets a gin, or they knock, or they undercut. Now, a gin means all your cards match, okay? So like if I drew into this and I had this, I would go down, I would gin, and by doing so, I would win 25 points, plus the cards in your hand that are not in a group. So let's say you had 10 extra cards, I get 25, plus those 10, I get 35 points, and that goes in a box. That's the end of that hand, and we shuffle and play again. Now, what about this knock thing? Okay, one of the things that you can do is you can knock. Well, I'm going to change my gin hand into a non-gin. I took one of the kings out and I'm putting a 5 in there, okay? So now here's a hand that's not a gin. Everything matches except for that 5. Even the 3 kings, it's still a group, okay? So for reasons, I think I'm not going to draw what I want. So I go down, or I knock with 5. I'm knocking with 5. Now, when I do that, what I'm hoping is that you will have 6 or more. If you do, then I win the difference. So I go down for 5, you have 6, I win 1 point. But it's the end of the game, end of the hand, I get a box with 1 point in it. Now, what happens if you have a 4? I lose. So you get that 1 point, but because you undercut me, you also get the bonus of 25, just like in a gin. So you make 26 points in that same box if you undercut me. So you see that a hand is always going to end with either a gin or a knock or an undercut. Okay, and you understand how they're scored. Now, when the way that you keep track of that is in the scorecard. Here's a pretend scorecard, and it's here's the red line. The down here is one guy, and above the red line is the other guy. This is how the score is kept, and this explains why the boxes are important. Okay. Now, let me say this about knocking. One of the ways that people try to complicate the rules of gin is they say you can't go down or you can't knock unless you have 10 extra cards or less, 10 points or less. Or they say you can only have 2 cards that are not in a group in your hand. Both of those are nonsense. If you want to go down with a big number, you're playing me, please do, because you'll lose. You want to go down with a bunch of cards in your hand that don't match, please do, because you'll lose. It's your risk. So why should that be legislated that you can't do that? Do it. I don't care. Do it. It steers the game to add layers of complexity to what a knock is or what going down is. Go down anytime with anything you want, and pretty soon you'll learn what makes sense and what's just done. But anyway, back to the scorecard. Okay, so here is this. How did the score get to be this way? Well, I'll tell you. Let's talk about the guy on top. First of all, gin plus 2, he gets 27. He knocks for 16. Then he has gin plus 1, he gets to 71. Then he knocks for 21, he gets to 94. And then he has a gin plus 1, it gets him to 120. Not probably 5 games in a row, but that's what he did during the course of this game. Those were the hands he won during the course of this game. Okay, the other guy had 3 gins. The first one, it's gin plus 19. Then gin plus 29 gives him 114. Then gin plus 27 gets him to 150, and the game is over because he got to 150. Okay, now you think, oh, well, then that guy wins, 150 to 120. No, he doesn't, not necessarily. There's 2 more things that go in here. First of all, there is a bonus for being the first guy to 150. Doesn't mean you win, but you were the first guy to 150. So he's got 150 plus 25. Now he's at 175. The other thing is all the boxes are worth 25 points, whether you win or lose. So you net them out. This guy won 5 boxes. This guy won 3. Okay, so this guy has 2 more boxes to throw into the mix, and since it's going against this guy, it's negative 25 per box, negative 50. Okay, so that gets him down to 125, and then you subtract the opponent's score here, and so he won that game by 5 points. Now that's important if you're playing for money, if you're playing for a penny a point, dollar a point, whatever, but that's not a part of this tournament. It's just you either win or you lose. There's however many players, every player plays every other player, and whoever wins the most games wins the tournament. Anyway, we're looking forward to college football. We're looking forward to the Gin Rummy tournament. I hope that you'll be there, and in any event, good luck.